events, and you don't want to run a long cable between the mix board and your camera. Dedicated audio recorders also have the ability to compress audio.
First opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Mercedes-Benz Superdome in downtown New Orleans. This is what it looked like just a moment ago in the heart of New Orleans. Folks, there's no place for this noise to go in the Superdome. It is loud, and these fans are ready for football as their Saints get ready to do battle with the Atlanta Falcons. That's fielded in the end zone.
Uncompressed audio files aren't really that big and problematic to deal with, certainly dwarfed by the size of your video files. So for higher quality sound and freedom of movement, I'm a big proponent of the double system recording at 96 kilohertz, 24-bit uncompressed wave files. You'll have to sync your audio in post, but you can use slates to line up the audio on each shot, or use sync programs so long as you record scratch audio tracks on your camera. But if speed and ease are your goal, there's nothing wrong with sacrificing a little bit of quality and recording sync sound using a single system. Whether you're shooting with a single system or dual system sound, you will be utilizing
a first down throw for Bridgewater. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
Most preamps have a
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use your aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Professional line out
after the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
1.228 volts. Negative 10.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Eluding the pressure right.
Is the consumer level line.
And that is incomplete here.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long.
We will invariably boost noise, and some preamps are noisier than others. This is another benefit of shooting dual system sound. The preamps and dedicated audio recorders.
From the gun, it's Breeze.
Well, with the mic level,
and he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
Supply phantom power down the line for a condenser microphone. Check your microphone to see if it's required.
They do go for it. It's Breeze. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over.
Plug a line level into a mic level to see the input, and you'll get extremely distorted.
I don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late game situation, maybe even 4th and inches.
As I stated, boy, this audio has 65,000 values of loudness and no more.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. A.J. Klein coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. On 2nd down, here's Ryan. He's airing it out for Sanu. This is caught. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Mohamed Sanu, 32 yards. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. Now Matt Bryant on for the point after.
In the last video, we took a look at the early history of Laserdisc.
And that makes the score 7-0.
You can find a link down below or up there. In short, Laserdisc was the first optical storage format, storing analog videos.
Here's Bosher to kick it away.
Discs, and it was released at the end of the 1970s. Featuring many of the
Gets fielded in the end zone.
It may seem surprising that it didn't become that popular.
The football going back over to the New Orleans Saints and a team this year, Charles, that really took off after that Week 1 loss. For me, it all came together Week 9. You think back to that game when they beat the Rams, knocked off their undefeated streak to start the regular season. So now, are the Saints really Super Bowl winning contenders? I mean, do you put them in that category?
Oh, I certainly do, and I think people were wondering how they would respond this season after what happened to end last season, the Minneapolis Miracle. where they ended up giving up the touchdown pass in the last play of the game in the playoffs. And when it started losing at home to Tampa Bay, many wondered if their psyche had really been affected, but they've regrouped since then. The defense is really playing well. And then there's always Drew Brees to Mike Thomas, and that has worked very well for them.
Well, since you mentioned Michael Thomas, and we talked about that win over the Rams, never forget going to get the flip phone, Mr. Michael Thomas, channeling his inner Joe Horn from back in the day. Brees to throw on second down. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
After the interception, here's Ryan. Looking deep for Julio. And this is caught inside the 5. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a first-and-goal situation. They'll look to run with Freeman. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. He's going to get it running right, and he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2, now third down. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play call, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing you're trying to adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him and try to keep him away from their plays.
Ryan. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. Fourth down after the New Orleans defense holds serve.
And that's a crusher right there. Had his man open for a first down, threw a fastball when that wasn't necessary, incomplete pass. One of these quarterbacks going to learn, you don't get extra points for how hard you throw the football.
And Bryant's kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. A good drive gets him inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. That is incomplete. Des Bryant, the intended receiver. And now it's second down. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
To compel a consumer to purchase a video of this player, they require you to convince them to buy into a new
Brees again here on 2nd and 10.
It's not as simple as a new format. We're talking about something full.
And this one caught by Des Bryant. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. First catch for Bryant. He's got a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Escaping the pressure right. And it's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Television shows took up a large chunk of your time as your onboard.
Back to the air on second down. It's Brees. Flushed out right.
Generally, these shows are broadcast once a week, with over a dozen episodes produced in a year. The continuity, character development, and other serial aspects of the shows compelled the viewer to watch every week.
And incomplete there. A nice hit.
If only there were a device that could keep that from happening. Enter the video cassette recorder. In 1975, Sony released the Betamax system, and JVC followed with VHS a year later. I'm not going to cover the format war between those two formats because I have already in previous videos, but at this stage in the timeline, the format war was irrelevant. And yes, there were earlier unsuccessful systems, and I know about Video 2000, but the
free and brings up third down
is what matters. These machines promised to change how we watch TV. If you were gone, you could take your favorite shows using a built-in timer, and if there were two shows you liked that were on at the same time, you could take one and watch the other. The video cassette recorder.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
You knew when your show would be on thanks to a TV guide, and there was an incentive to not miss any episode of your favorite show. It sounds silly because TV is, after all, unimportant in the grand scheme.
Again, it's Breeze. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. That's caught inside the 20. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. A big play for the Saints on 3rd down. 51 yards.
It solves the problem. Now here's where many discussions on the failure of Laserdisc get hung up.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Take a look at early advertisements for these machines. And you'll see that
the false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
This ad for this machine describes it as a turntable. A video turntable, and an excellent one at that.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara.
But you have to buy
and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Tackle made by Bruce Carter. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offense coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
That's because the VCRs of this time period essentially predated.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Wasn't being marketed as a device to play a pre-recorded tape. Content distribution at that time wasn't really
on 2nd down, here's Breeze. Eluding the pressure right.
That's right. Here's another thing in the saga on Laserdisc that gets overlooked. The idea behind video discs in general is that they would be
less caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Dez Bryant, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Saints have cut it back within a score. Lux with the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7.
Adjusted for inflation, that may seem pricey. But considering the price part from popular mechanics,
Lutz now to kick this one away.
VHS tape, that's away with nothing on it, going to $16.95.
This is taken about 7 yards deep.
This is considered better for contract distribution.
What? Now he's into the clear. He's at the 40. Past the 20. Touchdown, Falcons. As his guys are in for 6. And the Falcons will extend their lead.
And as we've talked to special teams coaches, that theme of being aggressive continues to come through, doesn't it? When they moved the kickoff back to the 35, it was going to cut down on the number of opportunities. But if you get a special guy, you give him the green light no matter where he fields it in the end zone. And in this case, it paid off handsomely.
Well, he fielded it deep in the range of emotions. Maybe like, oh, no, don't. And then all of a sudden you see him break it. And you're like, yeah, way to go.
Yeah, sometimes you have to remind your head coach that he approved the green light for bringing it out from deep in the end zone. And that's exactly why he did.
So now the other return teams out there, as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw.
You'd save a few $100 buying it, but once you purchase 20 or so movies,
and now the Saints get set to trot out there. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Still unsure you need to save a TV program after you've seen it. After all, that's not been possible before. So after you've watched the shows you missed that week, you can reuse the same thing.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. The tackle made there by Tack McKinley.
and that'll get expensive.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and those creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now Breeze. It's brought in right side by Gill. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Breeze now. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And he gets it down to the 32. First grab for Thomas. It's good for a first down as well.
Good throw, good catch. But I really like the route, the drag, and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Which again was an odd proposition to many consumers at the time, having never been able to own a movie before. The idea of owning movies was also a foreign idea to movie studios. They had never before needed to think about how to sell their content for mass film consumption.
Now Breeze throwing on second down. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Tech McKinley in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. On third and long, it's Breeze. Flush to his right. Now he's going to go up top over the middle. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4. A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. We're back to New Orleans after this.
With the development of their CED system,
so now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt.
Exclusivity clauses were added to the contract set. It was also frustrating to consumers.
Spins past it.
Which disc system would be better supported with content down the road. And even among Laserdisc players, Magnavox continued to refer to this as Magnavision, even though the discs you could buy were called Discovision, and the format
from the 32 now. Here's first and 10.
This fear and confusion probably kept a good number of video disc players on small shelves. Thus began a chicken and egg problem.
The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They snap it at 1. Now Ryan. Sutter with a grab over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
But plenty of people would want to record their TV shows while they weren't at home. That was an idea you could get behind. As more and more people purchased a VCR, suddenly there was a large installed base of devices that could play up to the printed tape. And now they're
throwing now, Ryan on first down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Second and 10 now. Ryan. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Alex Anzalone coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Pretty much every single movie is longer than an hour, so you're guaranteed to have to picture this over.
Third and long. It's Ryan. And he'll dump it underneath to his running back complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
The owner would make the cost of the take back many times over, so the high cost of the purchase wasn't that impactful. And Cassettes
Looks like Ryan's going to stay out there. Indeed, they're going to try for this on fourth down.
Out over time, this Laserdisc was fast and easy.
They'll try and throw for it with Ryan. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Dan Quinn's guys unable to come through there on fourth down. And the Saints will have the football back.
More than Laserdisc did. Though it should be noted that the price disparity...
A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up first and 10.
There's a clip on YouTube of Siskel and Ebert and the movies, and in it they discuss how the film Running on Empty released in theaters in 1988.
See, that came out of 89,
The final shot before half for Breeze. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Paramount had been releasing some films on tape for $14.95, with some bargain tapes going for $9.95. The trend of tapes continuing to get cheaper but go on, and Laserdisc wouldn't get its own in on that. At this point, it might seem that Laserdisc would be doomed, being beaten to market by a device which could record really good experience.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10.
Content on VHS and beta, buying a second device just for watching movies didn't make tons of sense. But Laserdisc didn't die. It clung to life until 2000, coexisting with DVD for 4 years. It was the collector's market, and to a lesser extent the education market.
They'll throw now on the final play.
Those who got Laserdisc from the mid-90s.
He'll air it out deep for Thomas. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
Please consider subscribing. This channel is made possible.
The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. This will be taken short. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. The Saints say they have it, and they do. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
So Breeze going to lead the Saints up here first and 10
widely credited with resurrecting the North American home video game market and was a defining feature of the standard American childhood in the 1980s.
They'll try to get the offense going with Camara. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40.
16-bit generation.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a second and 7.
Transition of home gaming into 3D, but it was the 1995 release of both the Sega Saturn and Sony PlayStation that brought it into the mainstream.
Escaping the pressure right.
Now
he's going to throw deep right side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
Sometimes we wonder about play calls, but this one made perfect sense to me. He's got the only touchdown that they've scored in this game. Tried to get it to him again on another deep.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on
older
third
generation
down.
of gamers have moved on to the Saturn and PlayStation. In the mid to late 1990s, N64 moved Nintendo fanatics out of a whole new generation of gamers.
We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football, caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
The history of 3D gaming stretches all the way back to the early 1980s.
Vector-based running back complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down.
3D Monster Maze. By the late 80s, 3D graphics had matured to the point that racing games like Namco's Winning Run and Atari's Cars Live were able to, through the use of polygons, give a rough approximation of the real world.
We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender
However,
find a way to start coming down with them.
Graphics required powerful hardware, leading home consoles at the time to fake it with techniques like raster effects.
Breeze will try again on second down. Flushed out right.
In the 16-bit era, the Super Nintendo's Mode 7 scaling rotation
and a hit charted loose.
Games like Pilot
it's incomplete.
But Nintendo's first
they have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Argonaut Games, who also developed the chip itself.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Vic Beasley in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt.
The chip called the GFU-2 was used to create Star Fox 2, which was completed in 1995 but never released.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
And that run, that changes the whole mentality about the drive right there. They were starting on their own 2-yard line. They just wanted enough space to punt the football successfully. Now they're talking about putting together a drive.
Silicon Graphics created workstation computers capable of rapid 3D
Freeman again. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4.
Well, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
On 3rd down, Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on 3rd down. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Falcons. They've got the football. They've got the lead as we get set to start the 4th.
SGI founder Jim Clark went first to Tom Kalinske.
The Falcons on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Clark then went to Nintendo and got a much different reaction.
From the gun, it's Ryan. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Sheldon Rankins in there to drop him for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down.
Hardware presence in the arcades in 1994 and in the home the following year.
The Falcons will go for it. It's Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now the pitch to Freeman. They find some open field here. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down, fourth quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out. We've got them now.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Getting it out left side to Sanu. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Alex Anzalone in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Ryan to throw. And no, it's incomplete. Dan Quinn's guys unable to come through there on fourth down. And the Saints will have the football back. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
The sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Throwing to start the drive, but that went incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Brees going to throw. Flush to his right. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. That catch good for 5. It's third down. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
Throwing right, and that's complete. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Output audio video jack is both its predecessor, the Super Nintendo, and its successor, the GameCube. But unlike the SNES, the 64's video output is limited to composite and S-video.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this.
The true heart of the 64's hardware is the Reality coprocessor, which is actually 2 chips in one. The Reality Signal Processor handles all 3D graphics processing, as well as generating system audio, while the Reality Display Processor performs pixel-level functions like texture mapping, anti-aliasing, perspective.
On first and 10, here's Brees. Escaping the pressure right. And this will be incomplete.
Appeared to me he was just trying to find an open receiver and got forced out to his right. Had to come off of a guy downfield, try to hit his back. Unable to connect. Should have been an easier throw moving to his right, though.
Yeah, much easier, obviously, for a right-handed quarterback if he was going to his left. A little bit tougher.
Exactly.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Market video game console since 1982, Atari 5200.
Here's Bridgewater. Buying time to his left. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. Now he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. The Saints on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Bridgewater to throw. Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the first, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movement. And for a quarterback, he has to continue to do what we call flatliner. Level in everything he does and read the clock, feel it in the pocket, and go at the appropriate time. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off at the 18, and his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. He'll get a nice chunk there.
Bowl 64 was in development by Kirby creator HAL Laboratory and would eventually evolve into Kirby Air Ride, a game initially intended for release on the Nintendo 64 that finally appeared on the GameCube in 2003. The other game available for play was Shigeru Miyamoto's Super Mario 64, which Nintendo at the time claimed was just the game's working title. Although the demo was advertised as being only 50% complete, so polished was it that to show attendees it felt like they were playing the final product. But the experimental build of the game would undergo many changes before its release the following year. It was also at Shoshinkai that the public saw the Nintendo 64's unique inverse trident controller for the first time. The radical design features a unique three-handled configuration and includes both a standard D-pad and an innovative analog thumbstick. The total number of action buttons on the face was increased to 6, and along with the 2 shoulder buttons, a trigger button was added to its underside. Lastly, the controller includes a peripheral slot, which can be used with a memory card unit for saving games, a rumble pack for force feedback, and a transfer pack for transferring data to and from Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. The controller was designed by Nintendo's Research and Development 3, led by veteran Nintendo hardware engineer Genyo Takeda. As head of R&D 3, Takeda previously led the development of the battery-backed GameSave system that made its debut in 1987 with The Legend of Zelda, as well as producing numerous noteworthy games, including the first several entries in the Punch-Out franchise. Having been delayed yet again, the Nintendo 64 finally launched in Japan on June 23, 1996.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. A moment ago, here was the scene, the Falcons coming out from their tunnel to the roar of all the folks here in Atlanta. We're ready for football as these Falcons get set to match up with the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This will be taken about the 12. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
Throughout 1995 and early 1996, excitement here for the Nintendo 64 was at fever pitch. And the latest
ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
The Nintendo 64 made its official American press debut on the day before the Electronic Entertainment.
First carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
Bringing the system in line with both the Saturn and PlayStation. They also moved up the launch date 1 day to the 29th because parents wasn't planning the 30th of the school night.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
When ubiquitous mall retailer KB Toys
they'll run it now out of the gun. And some room to work. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one 28 yards on the ground.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. And they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, they created a big run. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Under pressure, and he'll go down back at the 26-yard line.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick, and he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts.
The key isn't the number of games, the key is the quality of the game. Only 2 games are available on
Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 21.
Pilot Wing 64 was the follow-up to 1991's Pilot Wing. Itself a launch.
After the interception, here's Ryan. And they didn't wait long to take a shot there, that's for sure, but it falls incomplete, and it's 2nd down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. And he hits his running back, Tevin Coleman. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. That he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. Dee Ford in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. On 4th down, here's Matt Bosher on the punt. Tyreek Hill back deep for Kansas City. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this will be taken at the 13. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. Ball going back over to Kansas City. And thinking about their game last week against Cleveland, a couple guys, good homecoming games. Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, both from Cleveland and played well.
Did you know Superman was created in Cleveland?
I did not, but you know everything, so you can be lying. I'll just take your word for it.
Oh, it's real. No,
okay.
This one's real. Superman was created there, and these guys did their best impression, didn't they? Because Travis Kelce caught 2 touchdown passes. Kareem Hunt had 2 on the ground and 1 through the air, and they laid it on Cleveland and showed the hometown fans they still got it.
Yeah, and now Kansas City 8-1, still rolling.
Naughty Dogs crashed Bandicoot beat the Nintendo 64 to market in North America by mere weeks. And while the game kicked off one of the PlayStation's signature franchises, its linear levels by their name, Blackfield World.
Mahomes going to hand it off to Hunt, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
As was the case with all previous entries in the series, the development of Super Mario 64 was led by
throwing is Mahomes on 3rd, being chased out left. And this is going to be incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
On fourth down on is Dustin Colquitt to kick this away. Justin Hardy deep for Atlanta. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And this one will be down by a member of the kicking team at about the 40-yard line. Well, Charles, the Atlanta Falcons, a team that you saw last week, that win at Washington 38-14, and gosh, that inauspicious start, 1-4. Now all of a sudden they've won 3 in a row.
Yeah, and I think that when you go back to their 1-4 start, they decided to down focus and just take the next 2 games and turn it into a 2-game season. Let's go ahead and get these and see where we are in the open week. They beat Tampa Bay, they beat the New York Giants, got to 3-4, and during their open week, head coach Dan Quinn handed out T-shirts to everyone that said, "Own now." And all that means is, let the past go. Let's move forward. And it paid off in a big way in Washington, beating them 38-14.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Unlocked at the outset.
Yeah, that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
I can't help it. Every time I see Eric Berry make a play, as we just saw him make a tackle there, I just want to stand up and applaud.
Because he went to Tennessee like you?
Well, that doesn't hurt one bit, but how about the comeback? I mean, he came back from beating cancer and getting back to Pro Bowl level.
Heavy rush, and down he goes. Oh, free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble, because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
Here's Ryan looking downfield for Jones. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Here's Matt Bosher now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
Unlike the small handful of 3D platform games that preceded it, Super Mario 64 features a...
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer.
The camera in real time.
This is taken around the 12. And just a net of 31 here, 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker, or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And he's got this down to the 35. 1st down for the Chiefs. Solid chunk of yardage, 17 on the play.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
The voice of Mario in Super Mario 64 is portrayed by veteran voice actor Charles Martinet. He got his start working for Nintendo with great...
Now this time Mahomes will throw. Eluding the pressure right. Finding room to the 20. And he finds a man. That's Watkins. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Sammy Watkins, 35 yards. And the Chiefs are in for 6.
1994 Super Punch-Out.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point.
First in-game performance as Mario took place in 1995.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game.
But it was his work in Super Mario 64.
Butker now to kick this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. So out come the Falcons now. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. We're back to Atlanta right after this timeout.
Even Miyamoto himself admitted that players accustomed to digital controls would face a steep learning curve.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Innovative as it was, the camera system does at times get in the way of playing the game. Super Mario
on 2nd down, Freeman.
And as a consequence, Luigi is
well, the pretty move couldn't create much space. Down just beyond the 35.
Other two-dimensional platform games.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going into the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
From 2D gaming by the industry as a whole.
To throw on 3rd down, Ryan. And the Chiefs are going to get him. Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Super Mario 64 looms large in the memories of those who grew up.
Here's Matt Bosher now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Just a 25-yard punt, not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
Left, 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 left.
They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Black 58 rail. Slow.
Mahomes to throw on 2nd down. Flush to his right. Room here to run. Robinson's got it. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
Here in design documentaries, we cover a wide variety of games, from the successes to the failures, ranging from the obscure cult classics to some of the most popular games.
Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. Dancing to his left.
And its echoes are still being heard over 2 decades later.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, But how about his use of legs as well, what we call those broken plays? You can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those two that you just mentioned, are microcosm really of how it can hurt you.
It wasn't a popular genre, especially on consoles. The game was a console exclusive. He nearly lacked
on second down, Williams. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. And Vic Beasley able to make the tackle.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll.
Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Carl Allen with a pick. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. Now Matt Bryant on for the point after. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Now Matt Bryant on for the point after. Bryant's extra point up and good. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime.
It's been over 20 years since...
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Now Mahomes to try again after the pick six.
He received universal praise from critics and consumers.
So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports.
GoldenEye was so influential to what
Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3.
Innovations it brought to the table. For example, in the era that GoldenEye released, the genre wasn't even called a first-person shooter, but was affectionately referred to as a...
Set and ready to go for the second half. One touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. On the return, here's Justin Hardy. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. And here now come the Falcons. So far they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now sometimes if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
They go play action here on first down. He completes it to Julio Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
Noted by its lack of inclusions in games like Doom 64, Torah. GoldenEye had changed everything we knew about how Doom clones were designed. Levels had objectives that were simply more than kill every enemy in the room and make it to the end.
Now a handoff. It's Freeman. There they go backwards here. Losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Or watch him go flying as you hit him with an explosive. You could shoot a grenade out of their hands or a hat off their head. You could precisely aim over civilians and hostages to take out their captors. I mean, there was a level you could get into a tank and run people over.
Now Ryan on second down. And incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
I cannot emphasize enough just how far ahead GoldenEye was ahead of its time. And it's in no small part due to the company that developed it, Rareware. In fact, GoldenEye's success...
The Falcons on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is third down and 12.
...in their games that was considered rare among developers. Son of a... Before we start, though, let's clarify one thing. Rare wasn't a small, scrappy indie development company when they developed Golden.
Now Ryan.
They were already a household name among the
And that is incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him. Find him. Find him.
Started with arcade development before moving to create games for amazingly British-sounding home computers like the BBC Micro.
Now look at this, 4th and 12, and they're going to line up to go for it.
Several highly successful games like Lunar Jetman and Saber Wolf. Ultimate became known for its quality.
They'll try and throw for it with Ryan.
Have been responsible for the
Takes it over the middle. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. No problem, just a ho-hum pickup of 14 to keep the offense on the field.
Shifts because in their own words, you don't feel it's any good.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Because you get a 9-5 game. They were so successful that the small and isolated...
A handoff, Devontae Freeman. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
All right, it's football 101 to know that the quarterback controls just about everything on offense, but a lot of times what gets missed is that the center controls line play. He has to communicate to the guards and the tackles what type of front they're facing, how they're going to block it, and what adjustments need to be made sometimes on the fly as a defense will shift. Give the center a lot of credit because for the most part, he's got big defensive linemen over his face all game long that he's got to try and block and protect his quarterback and create space for his runner. In this case, he did a really nice job of communicating and executing.
Only allowed companies to produce 5 games a year. Though the Stamper brothers had been using the Rare name just before they sold Ultimate, this was the true birth of Rare, as Nintendo's first third-party Western developer. And they took full advantage of the opportunity, creating and porting games nearly a full year before the NES would be released in the UK. They were the company behind Battletoads, Wizards and Warriors, RC Pro. They pioneered innovative games like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
The kept growing well into the release of the Super Nintendo, but with the shift in console generations, Rare had changed focus to 3D graphic model.
They run, Devontae Freeman. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
Giving it a pseudo 3D look. Once again, they had approached Nintendo with the concept, and once again, Nintendo was highly impressed. Purchasing so many shares in Rare that it became the majority stockholder in Nintendo's first second-party development.
Ryan.
It gave Rare the license to Donkey Kong, and Rare used this newfound technology.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
To eventually having over 250 employees. One of these employees was GoldenEye's director, Martin Hollis, who had joined Rare as a programmer for the arcade version of
Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down?
Using the Bond license, possibly as a side-scrolling platformer due to the success of Donkey Kong Country. Mark Betteridge, a designer at Rare, said that when Nintendo...
And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. And that's going to leave them with just 1 timeout remaining still in the third quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. We'll be back.
That's when Martin Hollis proposed to Tim Stamper about giving him a small team. Pitching the project as a
so a field goal try here on 4th down as the Falcons call on Matt Bryant.
Tim agreed, and GoldenEye started development in March of 1995.
And Bryant's kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
Ken Lobb, who
So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
Normally when you see a short gain in the middle of a 3-4 defense, go ahead and pat the nose tackle on the back because he's holding things up and taking out extra blockers, which allows one of the inside linebackers to roam free.
Due to the fact it wasn't initially designed as a first-person shooting. As evidence, you don't have to look much farther than GoldenEye's design document. And it's hard to believe I've nearly gone 17 videos on just
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Many software developers use to explain specifically how they're going to design their game. It often details a wide variety of things, anywhere from
now Mahomes throwing on 2nd down. Escaping the pressure right. Over the middle, he's got Watkins. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
GoldenEye's design document, for example, makes several references to Sega's Virtual Cop.
They'll run. This is Hunt. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Also wanted it to be FPX.
On 2nd down, here's Mahomes. Forced out to his left. Caught out left side by Robinson. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. He got 29 yards that time. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Damian Williams, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs have taken the lead here in the 4th. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Went above and beyond the Call of Duty and included innovative
Butker now to add the extra point.
Such as the ability to surprise him, have them react to situations in fairly realistic ways.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 14-10.
It wasn't just Virtual Cop that GoldenEye borrowed from either, as they pulled inspiration from
Butker now to kick this one away.
As well. Mario 64 had a fairly unique concept of having large.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here.
Several objectives
and good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. Just, I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
They'll be going for 6. Now a play fake here on first down. Steps away, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Chris Jones in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. From the gun, it's Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On third down, Ryan getting it out left side to Sanu. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this.
Under pressure from the others. Well, it seems all very complex. The end result was something
down 4 late, gotta go for it here on 4th down.
Almost ironically, it ended up being this inexperience that made GoldenEye so good. That's not to say experience isn't important. I mean, my tagline is experience builds.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. It's caught. Jones. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. Well, they did the part they had to do. Quick throw got the 1st down.
But that doesn't allow them to relax. They still have plenty of work to do.
Ryan now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10.
Can have a wide variety of solutions and pick the one that fits best.
Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the 4th quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to, you and your brothers, just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. He's going to let it fly.
Wow.
We'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Austin Hooper, 44 yards. And the Falcons have taken the lead here in the 4th. Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. Bryant tacks on the extra point, so it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages as a field goal now can only tie it.
Which brings up another point that possibly contributed to GoldenEye's success.
Here's Bosher to kick it away.
GoldenEye was originally meant to be a tie-in with the film which released in November 1995.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
By the time the first deadline had arrived, the game's engine wasn't even complete. Instead of pulling the plug on the project, Rare instead had given more time and staff. The game kept being delayed and was
good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10.
Allowing them to work on it at their own pace. By the time GoldenEye would release, the next Bond movie, Tomorrow Never Dies,
they run with Hunt.
Already finished.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a 1st down.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
Ironically, based on the same movie in which
they stay on the ground this time. It's Williams. And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
He's back to throw. Flushed out right. 20. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down in.
May not have had anything to do with Nintendo, the game's publisher, eventually pulling support from the project. There were accounts from Mark Betteridge that Nintendo actually told Rare to cancel the project. Grant Kirkhope, one of the game's composers, gave his own account.
I mean, like, I know Nintendo stopped funding GoldenEye for a while because they didn't want it. It was just crap and it was just taking too long to make.
Sure.
But the Rare didn't tell us that. They just kept paying us to do it.
Wow.
It wasn't due to Rare having much faith in the project's success either. After a lackluster showing at E3 1997, longtime Rare designer Greg Mayles claimed to have stated, "It's a bit of a mess, and thank God we got Banjo," referring to another game that Rare was releasing, Banjo-Kazooie.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. They're told by multiple parties to change. He'll look to throw.
They're told by the publisher to cancel the game.
Buying time to his left. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Now there's the timeout signaled for with 2 seconds to go. And the field goal unit likely trying to send this one to overtime.
Perhaps the reason Rare had supported the team was due to their dedication and passion.
Now Harrison Butker for the field goal try. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left.
Which was very reminiscent of founders Chris and Tim Stamper's work.
Now Harrison Butker for the field goal try.
The team, regardless of their experiences, had a lot of talent. Again, the team was developing a console that hardly anyone was familiar with.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will tie things at 17-all. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
They managed to do it so late in production that neither company could have them remove it.
And the Chiefs now getting set to go. Set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing, because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
And it plays on a controller that's more polarizing than practical. At the end of the day, it's still freaking golden. During the time of its release, the game was nothing.
From the gun, it's Mahomes. That's complete to Chris Conley. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. His first catch, and it's a big one in overtime. It's a first down. Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Tackle made by Devondre Campbell.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
That sensation of taking out a guard through manual aim. He doesn't notice you spying on him through a window. That tension you feel when you have a multiplayer license to kill slappers only. Trying to navigate a dance of vague hitboxes and precise movement. I mean, I'll be honest, it's hard to tell exactly what game design.
Throwing now is Mahomes, eluding the pressure right. Now he'll let it go deep right. Oh, wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They give him a gain of 38. So often in overtime, Charles, games are won or lost on one big play. That might have been that big play right there.
And the ability to execute it.
This will be caught. It's a touchdown.
That's revenge, bitch. That's revenge, baby.
They have come in and scored this one in overtime.
I brought the idea of a console first-person shooter to the mainstream. And without it, who knows what the landscape of FPSs might have been. And while there's certainly been more successful first-person shooters released since then, there hasn't been one that's been able to create the same legacy for itself. And it's not been for a lack of trying. First-person shooters certainly aren't as rare as they used to. Cards! I mean, look at all these rare cards I have. After GoldenEye's success, Rare had considered working on a sequel based on Tomorrow Never Dies. However, Electronic Arts had purchased the rights to the Bond license by outbidding Rare, and released their movie tie-in on the PlayStation. It was a solid meh, according to critics. The sequel to that, The World Is Not Enough, ended up being better received, but again, it was difficult to compare it to GoldenEye. As far as I can tell, there hasn't been a James Bond licensed title that would even come close to the popularity. Meanwhile, Rare was doing its own thing with its spiritual successor, Perfect Dark. It was Martin Hollis and his team, armed with not only the same engine, but now with the experience and content